Hello, welcome back. Welcome to Let's Talk NBA with Rick and Jack. Jack, the NBA is going crazy.
Yeah.
We got this. It's got me befuddled.
Why is that?
Injuries. We early on when the playoffs started. I know you all watch our shows and remember our earlier shows about the NBA playoffs. Again, thank you for watching. By the way, we appreciate you. We appreciate you very much. But the NBA befuddles me because I think that it's catching up to everybody. That a little bit of time off after the bubble, not the normal time off, and just so many injuries. Now, we're right in the middle of a big playoff run, and the other night Philadelphia loses because Embiid's knee is bothering him. You can see that his knee was bothering him. Goes 0 for 12, 0 for 12 in the second half. If he makes one or two or three of those shots, they win. They barely lose. Atlanta comes back, and you can see Embiid is not a force in the game, and he has to be a force. So that affects the game.
So then my question is, he's not a force in the game. Do they have another star on the team?
Well,
what's his name? Ben Simmons?
Maybe Tobias Harris is better.
So why
don't forget Danny Green is out. Did that affect him?
Okay, but he's not one of the big three.
Hey, the big star for them has been Curry. Seth Curry been playing great ball. But the bottom line is they do have other stars, but it's no different than when when Anthony Davis was out. The Lakers were not the same team because LeBron is at the age of 36. You can't put that team on your shoulders and you can't score 50 points because your body doesn't have it in you anymore. And then you get teams like the injuries with our friends in Brooklyn.
Your friends, not mine.
Kyrie Irving goes down. I love Brooklyn. Hey, Harden goes down, tries to play last night. Poor guy limping around out there, 5 points. But what I really want to talk about, despite all the injuries, despite the fact that Milwaukee was going to dominate Brooklyn last night and destroy them, Brooklyn wins because a star steps up. And this is what I talked to you a lot about, because you said to me, well, injuries are the reason this team lost and that team lost. And I agree with you. I'm a believer in next man up. You got to play. But Kevin Durant, down 17 points with 7 minutes to play. Milwaukee's got that game won last night.
So you're telling me...
He says, come on, boys, get on my back. And he scores 20 points in the fourth quarter.
So you're telling me a team with Kevin Durant on it was down by 17 points?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, because he was trying to let everybody else get involved. He doesn't want to do everything. You got to have balance on a ball club. You got to play defense. You got to have other shooters. And by the way, Jeff Green played very well. Jeff Green was really the other one. People don't look at that. Come on. When you go for 49 points, 17 rebounds, and 10 assists, and you score 20 in the fourth quarter when you're down by 17, you've got to admit Kevin Durant is a true star.
Absolutely.
In my opinion, and I've always said this, when healthy, he's the best player in the NBA. When healthy, Kevin Durant is the best player in the NBA. You can talk about Curry and all these other guys, the Embiids, the Jokic. You can talk about all these guys. But he does more than anybody. He facilitates, he shoots, he gets into the key, he rebounds, he assists, he's a leader. Who's better than Kevin Durant in the NBA? Healthy, of course.
Yeah.
The whole thing has been health this year. It's like now the report just came out that Chris Paul, thank God they're on break because they swept the mighty Denver. Chris Paul is on break, and hopefully he's going to be able to play in the next round. But now we have COVID protocol for him, and he's in isolation.
Yeah, with this COVID, with the COVID protocol he's in right now, they didn't release more than just he's in COVID protocol right now. But my understanding is, if he's vaccinated, which
we don't know,
we don't know.
They don't tell us.
The time frame is actually shorter than usual. And one thing that he's got to do is actually test negative. You do a bunch of
what is it, like 3 times?
Yeah, you test negative, and then you're able to resume everything else. But I've always talked about you being a professional. Your team depends on you. Why do you put yourself in a position to violate, to be in the protocol? And I'm as smart and as I love him as a
incredible
as a
leader.
player
The best
and
leader
leader,
in the
and
NBA.
I of course when he got traded to the Suns, I was the first one to say, watch out for that team.
You
and
did.
I've
Give
been
me
on them
props on that.
all year long.
You've been on Phoenix.
I'm a little bit
you've been on
disappointed
them
on
all the
him
way.
with him because that's not what leaders do. Leaders don't put their teams in that position. Whatever he did to be in that was straight selfish.
Yeah, well, but you have to look at the other side of the coin. He has so many requests for people to be around him. He has had an incredible playoffs. He has led Phoenix. And again, kudos to Phoenix. You've been on them all year, and you said that they were gonna be the champion this year, and you've stuck to that. And they look like they have a good chance. And I'm sure everything will work out for Chris Paul and Phoenix, and he'll be back. But think about the obligations those guys have at his level. I mean, they're really he's called upon. You got to remember, he's the president of the Players Association also. So he's called upon for many people to get in front of him, and I could see where it happened, as opposed to like a Dennis Schroeder who went out on COVID twice and hurt the Lakers. But he's not a big demand like Chris Paul. Chris Paul's in demand.
Maybe his demand is through family. It doesn't matter what your demand is. Your only demand is to win that championship, and you're in a position to win that championship. After that, they can have your full attention. Well, right now, your 100% attention is to bring home that championship, because this will be his first one of his career. So then, why would you jeopardize that, Chris Paul?
I can't answer that.
So you know what I mean? Like
I just say it happens in a man that is wanted in public so much as he is. I could see where it could happen. LeBron went out and went to a party during the playoffs where he went against league rules, and they didn't do anything to him.
Do you know why?
He played the next day. I don't know why.
Because wherever he was at, everyone needed to be vaccinated. Everyone, and that was the only way to be able to get there. So he was not putting anybody in jeopardy, and that's the reason for.
So apparently, Chris Paul is putting other people and his teammates in jeopardy.
I'm not taking anything away from LeBron, because him going there could have, in a sense, put his team in jeopardy if there was that one person, just like the All-Star game.
I don't think he was thinking about his teammates, to be honest with you.
No.
And really, LeBron got lucky, is what happened. And he was able to continue to play because they figured it out and he was okay. Chris Paul didn't get lucky, but it just happened. We just heard about it this morning. It's going to come to pass what's going to happen, and hopefully there's a few more days till the next round. Hopefully he can play in game one, at the worst game two, and get things going. But who are they going to be playing? Utah or the Clippers? Now we got the unfortunate news, and we saw it the other night, that Mr. Leonard for the Clippers is hurt his right knee, and now he's not going to be playing tonight against Utah in a critical game in a 2-2 series in Utah. Leonard will not be part of the Clippers' activity tonight.
So do you think Playoff P will be able to show up?
Playoff P, Mr. Paul George, you talking about?
That's what he called
himself. You mean third-team All-Star? Made the All-Star team? Did you hear what happened there? I don't mean to bounce around, but there's so much in the NBA. Jason Tatum, by not making one of the three teams, All-NBA,
lost some money.
Lost $25 million.
Mm-hmm.
And what they did was they put Paul George as a forward in the voting, and he got more votes than Tatum and pushed Tatum out, as opposed to putting Paul George at guard, where he had more votes than Kyrie Irving. He had more votes, but Kyrie Irving got in as a guard with having less votes than both Tatum and George. They didn't put either one of them at guard. They put them both at forward. That put Tatum out of the $25 million. He lost $25 million by not making it, and it's like a technicality. Irving makes it with less votes. They put Paul George in as a forward and not a guard. And he's out. Anyways, so what's going to happen with Leonard? What's going to happen with the Clippers tonight in Leonard?
I think they're going to lose.
In Utah, that's a tough place to play, man.
Not to mention, you're giving Mitchell time to get back to where he was, because Mitchell's. I don't know if you notice, he's not really playing like Donovan Mitchell plays.
He's still scoring points.
He's still scoring points, but
he's not hurting his team.
He's not, but he has a simple touch where I can see. There are times when I see Donovan Mitchell taking over a game. He has not done it this series. Well, and he's a little bit a shell of himself. So, but I could see him doing it this game tonight, and I think it's over for the Clippers. But
Utah's coming for him tonight, man.
Absolutely.
They smell blood in the water. They're sharks. Utah, man, they're a serious ball club. The thing that's interesting, to go back to Donovan Mitchell and what he's doing in this series, the problem is the last 2 games he hasn't done anything in the first quarter, and it's allowed the Clippers to get ahead and to get the confidence and stay ahead of the game. Donovan Mitchell, I think, has scored 2 points or no points in 2 games in a row in the first quarter, and Utah has continued to get behind early. They got behind so early. What was it, 30-13 after the first quarter of the last game? Utah is getting behind and can't catch up because the Clippers continue to keep playing, and don't let them catch up, as opposed to what Milwaukee did last night against Brooklyn. I still can't believe 17 points up with 7 minutes and losing. I still can't get over that. Milwaukee doesn't want to win. But back to the Clippers. It's, again, it's next man got to step up. Who's it going to be tonight?
it has to be George.
Well, and they have other capable players. Morris has got to step up. Reggie Jackson's got to step up. Kennard's got to step up. Beverly's got to step up. Zubats has to step up. Who really needs to step up is Batum. But Nicholas Batum has to hit those threes. So I do not put the Clippers out in this game. I've said this to you all year long, and I've said that they were going to be there, and they're there. You didn't feel they would make it through the Dallas series, but
I didn't.
You didn't, and you feel they won't make it through this series.
No, I don't.
But I will tell you this: don't be surprised if the Clippers win tonight.
I will be.
Don't be surprised, because they got a lot of talent, and it's all about guys stepping up. It's next man up. It's a band of brothers. That's sports, and they have enough talent to beat Utah tonight. They have enough talent to beat Utah tonight. Will they? Probably not. Probably not. But we've talked a lot about injuries, and we've adhered to the philosophy that teams like the Lakers didn't get there because of injuries. We understand that because injuries play a big part in the game. With Anthony Davis healthy, I don't think Phoenix could have beat the Lakers. You believe they would have beat them regardless. But let's take injuries out of it and let's just play basketball and see what happens. But I've had a big place in my heart for the Clippers this year, despite all the abuse I've taken from you. You've abused me pretty good.
It's
calling
not
Leonard
me.
Soft,
It's not
Paul
me. It's
George,
them.
You can't play in the big games. Paul George looks pretty good in the playoffs. Anyways, gosh darn it. I hate to see these guys injured. I hate to see Leonard injured. I hate to see Chris Paul out. I hate to see Embiid limping up and down the court. It takes away from the true essence of the game of who the best team is. And the NBA has so much talent, and the talent is being depleted because of the injuries.
Because of the injuries, but it's always been a part of the NBA. It's always been a part of sport.
More this year than any year.
Because it comes down to I've said
short off season.
I said in our other show, it's has a lot to do with the short season, so then that causes more soft tissue injuries, and that's what we have to look into. Like, hey, it was probably worth it for them to start the season when they did, money wise, as far as the NBA, but what toll is it going to take on your future of your stars, in the next couple of years?
They're going to get some time off now. My whole thing is playoffs are fun. But I got to tell you, I was really proud of Brooklyn last night. I was really proud of Kevin Durant. As a basketball fan,
but here's the thing.
I got to go like this. Brooklyn, you stepped up. Kevin Durant, you stepped up. And to me, that's what wins playoffs. And that's a team I want to see continue to go forward. Milwaukee, man, your 17-point lead, like you said to me, why they keep bombing these threes? Why didn't they get the ball down in the paint? And also at the end of the game, you're down 2 to Brooklyn. Milwaukee has the ball. Pass goes into Giannis, and he fumbles it away. There's nobody even around him. Easy left. Then he missed 2 free throws. Giannis didn't step up. You talk about the stars. But Kevin Durant stepped up. So, again, hooray for Brooklyn.
Kevin Durant
Too bad
stepped
for you,
up.
Milwaukee.
Kevin Durant did what he's supposed to do.
Yeah,
you know what I did this morning?
He's a star.
You know what I did this morning? I paid my water bill. Oh, did I step up and pay my water bill? No, I did what I was supposed to do.
Can you help me with mine?
No, you got to do what you're supposed to do, Rick.
Listen, you're giving money away. Listen, what I'm supposed to do is to say, hey, Jack, you're talking about water bills now or nothing. Let's talk.
No, not for that luscious
now we're
grass
talking,
that
now
you
we're
have on
changing
your
the
lawn.
show to,
I don't have enough money to keep that.
Hey.
You guys should see his lawn. It is green. We live in a desert. It's an
See how he changed the subject? We live
oasis.
We live in the desert, and I got the
It's
greenest
an
lawn in
oasis.
town.
Yes.
And proud of it. And proud of it. I let my neighbors go by. And I take pride in everything I do, as you know, including these shows that we do. Take a lot of pride in them, in what we do here. But I do take pride in my lawns and my backyard. I got the bluest pool in the neighborhood too, right?
Yeah.
I put those chemicals in there. You can't swim in there, but you know, it's dangerous because the chemicals I put in there to make it so blue, but nobody's been in the pool yet. It's like, can you get that chlorine level down a little bit? Anyway.
My eyes are burning.
Yeah, my eyes. Why does my skin smell like chlorine, Dad? So, anyways,
No.
he's right. But
You
after the show, I'll give you my water bill.
I don't want credit for the things that I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to do the things that I'm supposed to do, and I do them. So when I do it, I don't need credit for the things that I'm supposed
Yeah,
to
but
do.
see, you can't even talk about. It's not the same thing, and I'll tell you why. You pay your water bill, $140. You put it on your credit card. You pay your water. You're not trying to make a basket with two guys' hands in your face and one guy grabbing your waistband, the other guy grabbing your shirt, the other guy triple team, double team.
When was he double
You're
teamed?
not trying to pay your bill.
When was he
Somebody's
double
trying to keep
teamed?
it. Don't pay the bill. Don't pay the bill. You can. Hey, again, you know what I'm talking about.
When was he double teamed?
You know what I'm talking about.
They were not
It's a
double
lot tougher
teaming
to
him.
do what he
They
does
were
than
not
to pay a
double
bill.
teaming him last night. That's why he was able to do.
You're right.
They got
Well, they
Milwaukee
thought
got
P.J. Tucker was enough.
out coach.
Hey,
No,
they thought
he
P.J.
needed to
Tucker was enough to guard him, and he wasn't.
let the rest of the team beat you. Because guess what? We're gonna make it tough on Kevin Durant. Oh, he only had 10 assists, but guess what?
Only he had 17 rebounds,
But that's the thing.
49 points.
Let everybody else beat you. Because he didn't need any more assists because every time he had the ball, he had his way. Double team him, triple team him, let him distribute that ball, and that's what they weren't doing.
Give him some help.
Come on,
Hey.
come on, Milwaukee.
Jeff Green, who were they going to guard? Jeff Green was on fire.
But
Shamat was on fire.
But still,
Bruce Brown.
They
It wasn't
weren't stopping
just
him.
They were giving him help. Like, now you're going to give me some help with my bills. I appreciate it. They were giving Kevin some help. Now you're going to help me with my water bill and that stuff. So okay, let's do it, brother. Anyways, I was proud of Brooklyn last night.
I'm more
He did what he's
disappointed
supposed
in
to.
Milwaukee than I am proud of Brooklyn because Brooklyn did what they're supposed to do. They have one of the
With
best
top
player.
players out.
They have the top player. No, they have the
Take
best
Chris
player.
Paul and Booker off the floor. See what happens in Phoenix. See what happens in Phoenix.
It's a different
See
team.
what happens in Phoenix. Take Booker off
Yes,
the
they're
floor.
going to lose.
Hey, you took James Harden is not healthy. He limped around out there and was a diversion.
Are you comparing James Harden to and Devin Booker?
Well, James Harden's a fine. He's made how many MVPs has Booker won?
None. So then
How many has Harden won?
Two. So how do you compare the two?
Hey,
How do you compare the
Well,
two?
what are you saying?
Are
Booker's better than Harden?
Absolutely. No, Harden is better.
well,
How do you?
Devin Booker's a lot
How
younger.
do you compare even Kyrie with Booker? You can't compare
It's
the two.
interesting because of the youth. I believe that Booker will become a very storied player. I think he's a great player. He was on a very bad basketball team for several years, and he hung in there. He never complained. I think Devin Booker's a fine basketball player, just like he didn't make All NBA. Did he deserve it?
Probably did, because of what he was able to do with his team. What people don't.
I like Devin Booker.
What people don't understand with Booker, he was able to develop, able to play on a bad team and hone
For
his
many
skill.
years.
Whereas if he had, I think if he had any other star other than Chris Paul there, he wouldn't have flourished like he did, because I think Chris Paul is not a player that demands the ball. He's more of a facilitator that if you need a stop, Chris Paul is going to give you the stop. If you need a basket, Chris Paul is going to give you that basket. Where Booker, when he has the ball, he does whatever he wants with it. It's a match made in heaven right now where you have, especially somebody with a high basketball IQ to be there with him. If it was anybody else, I don't think Booker would be the player he is right now.
Well,
But again,
we can't tell that right now. But
again, you have
they've improved that.
You have Harden and you have Kyrie, which I think their years of experience and what they've done so far in the NBA make them better players than Booker.
They're fine players. They, you know, and
so you can't compare the
you've
two.
had a champion. You know, Kyrie has won a championship. Harden hasn't won one yet. But we'll see what happens between Brooklyn and Milwaukee. I like Brooklyn a lot, based on the spirit they showed last night. Hopefully it changed the series for them, and Harden gets better quickly. What are you seeing between Atlanta and Philadelphia? A tough series. Do you think you told me a couple of days ago you thought Atlanta would win this series? A lot of the people like Charles Barkley and Shaq believe Atlanta's going to win this series. It's 2-2. Is Philadelphia going to get off the mat tonight and make it 3-2?
When we moved on to the next round, one of our discussions were like, do I really think that Atlanta can win? And I said, Atlanta can win. It all depends on Joel Embiid. And the reason for that is if he is not on his game or if he's injured, Ben Simmons is not going to stand up. He's not going to play better. He's not going to take the team on his back. He's not going to be driving baskets because he can't make free throws. He's not going to be shooting 3-pointer. Like, in fact, the last play of the game, because he's not a 3-point shooter, he was not on the floor for the last basket.
Yeah, Curry just missed that. I thought we had a tie game there. The sad thing about it is, even
more reason for me to have him in the game, because guess what? Nobody would have been guarding him.
Well, he's not There's no way that Simmons is going to make a three. And that's what they could criticize about him. A guard who can't make threes and doesn't shoot them, and a guard who can't make free throws. How many times in the NBA have you seen them hacking players, fouling on purpose guards? How many times? They're fouling that kid on purpose because in true to form, they did that twice, and he made 1 out of 4 free throws. But the bottom line is, if Embiid is healthy, and it goes back to the injury thing that we've talked about, if Embiid is healthy in that second half, Philadelphia wins easy. And I told you, we actually made a bet on it when it was 1-1. I said, Atlanta will not win another game in this series. And I believe that Philadelphia went on and beat them easy the next game. Philadelphia blew the game the other night. But I believe that Philadelphia, again, with a healthy Embiid, is a superior team. But it's throughout the NBA. With a healthy Leonard, the Clippers are going to be tough to beat tonight. The injuries have been tough. I can't tell you right now who's going to be in the finals.
But do you realize right now that a lot of these teams that are winning, there's something wrong with the stars on the other team, where there are injuries and all that stuff. So it's like we're not even seeing a true form. Like, hey, Brooklyn is so much better than the rest of the league.
Yeah, and we thought that for a period of time when we thought everybody was going to be healthy. They've only played 13 games together, all three of them. Ridiculous. 14 games. It's ridiculous. But it's interesting. You look at Utah, and they continue to be pretty healthy. Donovan Mitchell gets a little bit hurt. He's a tough guy to me. I keep seeing him go down. The other night I saw him go down on that right ankle, and I thought, man, he's not going to play the next game. And he played, and I think you're right. He plays through a lot of pain. I think that guy is really banged up, and he is a little touch off, but a touch off for him is not that much. But Utah, that toughness is carrying Utah where they need to go.
That touch off is him being able to just dominate the entire game. You'll see spurts of it, but you won't see that dominance that we're used to with Donovan Mitchell, where he's not even playing the last 5-6 minutes in the fourth quarter because he's been so dominant in the game and put his team above. And I'm not saying that the Clippers are not a good team so that he can usually do that with them. I'm saying that he's just not dominant.
Yeah, the Clippers, again, I've said it all year long, have a lot of talent. They may be the most talented team in the NBA. Hopefully that talent comes through tonight, and they go into Utah and win that game. Again, you're correct. It's doubtful. The thing about it is as we come down to the end of the season, and as we watch the best team, and of course we're counting on Chris Paul playing, the best team, the team the most likely to win it all is Phoenix, in my opinion. The team most likely to win it all is Phoenix. I'm not impressed by anything that's going on in the East, really. Kevin Durant can't have those kind of games night after night, and the great coaches will shut him down. The great coaches will not shut him. You can never shut down Kevin Durant.
You don't even need a great coach.
But the great coaches will slow him down.
A good
Let's
coach.
just say slow him down.
A good coach would have an answer for him.
Yeah.
Even if he gets
Milwaukee will let him get out of
35
control.
points, that's going to be the difference maker, because now he has to distribute the ball. You have a chance for a bad play. You have a chance for a steal. You have a chance for a rebound.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's interesting. So we'll see. Again, we got several weeks left. We want to thank you all for being NBA fans and watching and being part of our crew. We thank you very much for the views and watching us and sharing us and liking us. And we'd like to know a little bit more about what you think is going to happen over the next couple of weeks in the NBA. Of course, we got some injuries, some crazy things going on with Chris Paul. We'll see how that evolves and unravels or ravels. We'll see what happens with that. But in closing, I just wanted to ask you, were you okay with the All-NBA teams, all three teams? Did you think anybody got left off that should have been on one of those three teams? It's only 15 players, so it's tough, man. In that great league, only 15 players make All-NBA. Man, you're pretty darn good if you make All-NBA in this day and age.
My problem with that is, as we know, the NBA has been evolving. You have so many guys that play so many different positions now. How do you rank him as a power forward when he plays like a point guard, but he's built like a power forward?
Yeah.
So
I get it.
So you're gonna miss. Some guys are not gonna get the votes that they deserve.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's in the NBA, and they're talking about it. Just the
So
15 best players.
They need to adjust
Just
it.
get the 15 best players. And again, we talked about the thing and what happened to Tatum.
Yeah.
They listed him as a forward instead of a guard. And same thing with Paul George. They listed him as a forward. And, Irving gets in there, and Tatum doesn't get in there. And who's more deserving? And, it's just like Russell Westbrook is a flat-out facilitator guard how you keep him off of any NBA All-Star team is crazy to me. As hard as that man works every day.
So
that was my big loss there, that Russell Westbrook should have been on the team. Other than that,
because
I'm okay
Beal
with it.
wouldn't be Beal without the distribution.
Well, Beal made it.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So my big thing is it needs to be categorized different, because players now are coming out are basically you have guys that look like centers that are coming out looking like point guards, or playing like point guards, distributing the ball, just being smarter basketball players, and they can play 5 positions. You have a guy like Draymond Green that damn near plays 5 positions. So what do you put him in?
He plays center and forward.
But then he also
he made the all-defensive team, first team.
But then he also distributes the ball. A lot of times, especially if Steph is not on the floor, he's the one that's distributing the ball. So he's also a great point guard.
Great passer.
So then, why wouldn't he be on? What position do you put him on?
He made all defense.
But what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, they need to scrap it and basically, hey man, this season the 15 best players.
I think they'll get to that.
And because these players are so much better.
Oh, the NBA is a great place. And there's so much talent that didn't make it. And we know guys like Anthony Davis didn't make it because they were injured. If he was healthy all year,
and
he
I'm
makes
okay.
it.
And I'm okay with that.
And LeBron makes second team because he was injured. But, anyways, these shows go so fast, and we want to thank you. We love talking about the NBA. We got a few more weeks of it. Then we'll be back out to the NFL soon. But thanks for watching this NBA show. Please like it, share it with your friends. Give us your opinions. We value you as an audience, and we value the fact that you watch our shows. We want to thank you always for being part of our team here and part of our viewership and helping us grow it and putting us in this new great, beautiful studio we're in. It's so much fun working in a really fresh new studio. But thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you soon, and enjoy your NBA teams. Don't forget to put some discretionary coin down on some of these games. There's money to be made, probably on Utah tonight. But how you want to end the show today?
I just want to say happy coach hunting for the Pelicans.
Pelicans, yeah.
So
Stan Van Gundy didn't go far.
Yeah,
But
so-
I'm not surprised he didn't do a good job there. That's good input. And we would be remiss if we didn't wish all you fathers happy Father's Day this weekend. Enjoy it. I'm sure you guys are great fathers and do wonderful things for your children. Keep loving your kids. Keep being great fathers. Enjoy your weekend, and happy Father's Day to you.
Same to you, sir.
Thanks. Enjoy the weekend. God bless.